Welcome to Embodied and Beloved, Faith, Healing, and the God who meets us in the body. I'm Shannon, a manual osteopathic therapist, and every day I sit with women who are carrying more than pain in their bodies. Often there's stress, grief, exhaustion, and questions about healing that don't have easy answers. When I say embodied, I mean this, that our faith is not something we live out only in our thoughts or beliefs, but in our nervous system, our breath, our posture, and the stories that our bodies are holding. Our bodies are not separate from our spiritual lives. They are a place where so much of it unfolds. And this podcast is for women who are learning to listen to their bodies with compassion, who are discovering that healing is a process rather than a finish line, and who are coming to trust that God meets us not only in prayer or reflection, but right here within the lived experience of the body. You are embodied, you are beloved, and you are not alone. Hey friends, have you ever told yourself, I'm not doing this again. I am not overcommitting again. I am not shutting down again. I am not spiraling again. I am not carrying everyone else's emotions again. And yet somehow in a stressful moment, there you are, back in the same reaction, the same cycle, the same pattern you thought you had already worked through. Yeah, that can feel discouraging, especially when you genuinely want to change. But what if these patterns are not simply bad habits? What if many of them are actually deeply learned responses held not only in the mind, but in the body too? Today, I want to talk about why we return to old patterns, how the body participates in those patterns, and how real change often happens more slowly, gently, and intentionally than we expect. When we think about patterns, we often think about thoughts or behaviors, but patterns also live in the body. Your body learns through repetition. It remembers what felt necessary, what felt protective, what helped you cope. And over time, those responses can become automatic. You may notice this physically in your shoulders tightening before conflict, or your jaw clenching when stressed, holding your breath when you're feeling overwhelmed, stomach tension during uncertainty, exhaustion after being around certain people, or feeling restless when things finally become quiet. The body begins to anticipate experiences before the mind fully catches up, because our nervous system is always asking, have we been here before? And what did we need to do to survive it? So if your body learned to stay alert, stay useful, stay small, stay busy, or stay guarded, it may continue responding that way automatically, even when you consciously want something different. And this is why patterns can feel so frustrating, because intellectually, you may know something is unhealthy, but your body still experiences it as familiar. And familiar often feels safer than unfamiliar, even when it hurts us. Your nervous system prefers predictability, not necessarily healing and not necessarily flourishing, but predictability. So when stress rises, capacity lowers, or our emotions intensify, the body often reaches for old responses automatically. Not because you are weak, not because you are failing, but because your system is trying to protect you the best way that it knows how. And that does not mean the pattern is healthy. It simply means it became practiced. So here's the hopeful part. If our body can learn patterns, it can also learn new ones. But change usually does not happen through force. It happens through repetition, awareness, safety, and practice. This is why sustainable change often feels slow. You are not just changing thoughts. You are teaching your body that a different response is possible. So that may look like noticing tension before it escalates, taking a breath before reacting, relaxing your shoulders in a hard conversation, saying no without apologizing excessively, allowing yourself to rest without earning it first, and staying present instead of immediately disconnecting. And these moments may seem small, but they are powerful because every time you practice something different, you are creating a new pathway, a new experience, a new story for the body to learn. And this is where many people get stuck. They notice the pattern and immediately turn against themselves. What is wrong with me? Why am I still like this? I should know better by now. But shame rarely creates transformation. It usually creates more fear, and fearful bodies tend to cling harder to familiar patterns. So here is something important I want you to remember. You cannot shame your nervous system into healing. Real growth needs honesty, yes, but it also needs compassion and gentleness and patience. The kind of patience that understands healing is not simply behavioral, it is embodied. And this is where relationship becomes so important because our bodies do not only learn patterns alone, they learn patterns through relationship too. Safe people can help teach the body something new. It can help teach the body what calm feels like, what honesty feels like, what being respected feels like, and what repair feels like after conflict. Sometimes someone's steady presence helps your body realize, I don't need to brace right now. And over time, those experiences matter deeply because it's not just insight. And this connects deeply with our faith because transformation in scripture is rarely presented as instant perfection. It is often described as renewal, growth, maturity, becoming. We are invited to be transformed by the renewing of our minds. And that sounds like a process or ongoing work. That sounds like grace meeting us again and again. And honestly, guys, God is not shocked by your patterns. He is not impatient with every unfinished place in you. He is not asking for flawless performance. He is inviting you into real formation, one step at a time. So this week, instead of trying to change everything, just begin noticing one pattern in your body, one place you brace, one moment you tighten, one reaction that appears quickly and automatically. And instead of attacking yourself for it, pause and get curious. What is my body trying to protect me from right now? What would help me feel safe in this moment? And what would one small different response look like? You do not need to force transformation overnight. You are allowed to learn slowly. So take a slow breath with me. Notice your body right now, your jaw, your shoulders, your chest, your breathing, without judgment. Just notice. Your body has carried many things for you, and some of those patterns may have once protected you well. But you do not have to stay trapped in survival forever. New patterns can be learned, safety can grow, and healing can happen slowly, gently, and honestly over time. So may you grow in awareness of the patterns your body has been carrying. May you meet yourself with compassion instead of condemnation. May you learn to recognize when your body is bracing for survival and gently invite it towards safety instead. May you have courage to practice new responses even when they feel unfamiliar. May grace meet you in the slow process of change. May your body experience more moments of rest, steadiness, and peace. And may you trust that transformation is possible even here. If something in this episode resonated with you, take a few moments to sit with it. You may even want to notice one physical pattern this week with curiosity instead of judgment. And if you know someone who feels stuck in old cycles, feel free to share this episode with them too. and I'll meet you again in the next episode.